me and my co-founder, we just thought, why don't we just start a podcast so we just bring girls together that love football just like us and support all of the top teams, and we just start it, and that's literally how it came about.
FOOTY 258 back again, and I'm Jordan Antonio Brown, bringing you another episode of Sports Section. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the first time I'm actually doing this, so I know you got trigger fingers and you want to press it, so go and press it. Go and press the subscribe button. But today we have co-hosts from the Gold Diggers podcast. We have Bree and we have Patrice. How are you young ladies doing?
We're good.
I'm good, thank you.
All good. So talk to me, Let's address the elephant in the room. You girls are women doing podcasts. that is the biggest stigma in football. Let's be honest. Not from me, but from regular people watching your channel. So I commend you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job changing the scene in football and whatnot, among with other women in the sport. So talk to me and how your mindset works and, how you came with the idea to just put women who are interested in football and do a podcast.
It's so funny because we get asked that a lot of times, and it's just, we've always been passionate about football. Football's always been our lives, and because of the past, especially when we have discussions with men and they're always so quickly to shut us down, me and my co-founder, we just thought, why don't we just start a podcast so we just bring girls together that love football just like us and support all of the top teams, and we just start it, and that's literally how it came about. In terms of bringing the girls together, my co-founder, she literally put out a tweet and said, I'm going to start a football podcast, who wants to join? And then Beatrice,
I jumped in the DMs.
Yeah, she was ready. She was like, I'm here, I want to join. And the rest is history. We started this in February last year, and we've been doing this coming up to 2 years now and going really strong. And it's really good to see that everyone appreciates and sees what we're doing, because it was just a thought of bringing out your passion, kind of going along with the passion. We didn't think it was going to be this big or this many people to actually tune in all the time. There was so much anxiety before we actually launched our first episode, and as soon as our first episode came out and the support we got, it's kind of just been going with the flow, and the support has been very much consistent from everybody.
Yeah, that's the kind of anxiety you get putting out anything new. You're always focused on what other people will say about it, and rightly so, because they're the consumers. They're going to be the ones watching it, right? So you should care about their opinion. Here at FOOTY 258, we're proud to present you with the best football specific content. We work with many companies and many ballers to give you, the viewers, the best content possible. You, the viewer, we're always looking to help you improve your skill set. In order for you to improve your skill set and for us to keep making these videos, please click the link down below and buy some equipment. The equipment helps us run this channel, and also you subscribing to the channel helps us producing more of these videos to help you with your skill set and your knowledge of the game. Thank you for supporting FOOTY 258. But starting it, being woman in football, that's a totally different thing, You guys, you probably thought so much about it, but taking that first leap of faith and doing it, surely you don't regret it, right, Patrice?
No way. It's been enjoyable from the very start. And the support we get keeps us going. Obviously there's a few trolls here and there, but we don't focus on that. We just ignore them. We keep doing what we do, and just the recognition that we're getting from people is really encouraging. And we're just going to keep going.
So talk to me, what shaped your personality in sport and football in general, what was the thing that made you fall in love with, you know, football, to be specific?
I think, like everyone else, I grew up in a family that, you know, we watched every single type of sport, from cricket to tennis, about everything. So football was just part of the family. I watched football with my brothers. I've got an older brother and a little brother, and we just all used to watch football together, and we all support the same team as well. So it was just part of our household, and that's how it started, and that's how it's always been. It's not something that I got into late. It's just something I've always loved and enjoyed growing up, and yeah, that's it.
What sports did you guys play growing up?
I played football. I was actually playing football throughout primary school to secondary school, and then after that, I never played again. You know, the injury and that.
Injury.
Yeah. The knee injury and that.
Yeah.
By the way, to cut you, if you're talking to a guy and he goes to you, you know, I used to be a footballer, innit? Like, I got a knee injury. Like, what's your reaction to that?
I'll ask what club. If you try and say like Crystal Palace, and I know the players at Crystal Palace, I'll be like, when?
What if he said he had a trial there, like, and like he was on, like, he was gonna get signed, but then you got
everyone had a trial.
Everyone, yeah, had a trial or played for some sort of football academy. Yeah, we know the story.
We've heard it all before.
Well, some people are telling the truth when they say the story, innit? So you gotta take it, you know. You gotta take it by their word, innit? So, but yeah. So you said, Bree, you played football. What position were you?
Funny enough, I was actually a goalkeeper. Them times I was tall enough to be a goalkeeper, but obviously I haven't been second. So. I'm a bit too tiny for that position, but the goalkeeping was literally my bag back then. In school, like, it was literally sometimes we'd play against boys, we'd play in tournaments. It was quite fun. I do miss it, and I do commend those that play football full time, because it's not an easy sport. It requires a lot of fitness and consistency, and if I ran up the stairs just 2 minutes, I'm already out of breath. So for you guys to do it 90 minutes up and down, I commend it.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, especially, you know, I signed for a new club, so for me, you know, I took a month off basically throughout. It was complicated, but through both of my seasons, you know, I didn't play a game for a month, and that's the hardest thing in the world. You can run up and down the road as much as you want, run, you know, kilometers and whatever, but, you know, there's nothing like playing games. So yeah, it's the hardest. It's unexplainable, you know. So no, you probably know what I'm talking about as you played it yourself. Any footballers you looked up to growing up, Patrice?
Cardi, because I lived about 8 years in Nigeria, 8 years of my life in Nigeria, and he was everywhere. He was in all the adverts. There was a particular peak milk advert that he was in, and it's just like, we just had so many, not only Nigerian but African, like, Premier League superstars, and it was just incredible to see. JJ Okocha, Essien, like, there were so many. So yeah, growing up, there were so many people to look up to. It was good times.
Yeah, no, you're not the first person who actually said that they looked up to JJ Okocha. Someone who I interviewed before said also they looked up to JJ Okocha. You know, Alex, we've had on the channel already, being his uncle.
Yeah.
You know, what does, you know, watching your country, what does that mean to you? Is that a different type of feeling?
Yeah, it's growing up, even my mother, who's not into football, we all sat down and watched the Nigerian matches, and it was crazy. Some people had trumpets. It was just part of the culture. It was so fun. You just felt a sense of pride in your country. So the whole watching football matches, watching Nigeria play, it was just an experience in itself. And yeah, those were good, really, really, really good times. Them times that we were like very good at football and we had like superstars. That was fun.
Nah, you guys are coming back to the level, just missing out on a bit of luck at the last, you know, moment. But I believe Nigeria in the next couple of years will probably be the best African team. What football teams did you support growing up, both of you?
So I supported Manchester United.
Okay, same as me. Yeah. What about you, Brie?
So before I moved over to the UK, I was supporting Bayern Munich.
Okay.
And then when Michael Ballack moved to Chelsea, was around the same time I moved here. I then decided to start supporting Chelsea because of him, and I've been supporting them ever since.
So are you from Germany or?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you move over from Germany? I'm in Germany right now. When did you move over from Germany?
Ah.
2006.
Okay.
Yeah. Which part of Germany are you in?
Right now I'm in somewhere you would never ever know, but it's called Aalen, which is close to Stuttgart.
Oh, okay. It's one of them small towns, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them small towns, and yeah, just loads of trees and.
Yeah, I already know what you're talking about. Is there a seaside?
Not near me, but like yeah, just loads of forest and everything, and
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
no one would go visit. But I'm here, I'm focusing on my football, so can't really complain, right? But yeah. So how was that experience, following football and growing up in Germany then?
I think it was probably like one of the best experiences because in a country like Germany, sports is like very huge from like very young. Even like football aside, I was an athlete as well when I was from primary school. So I used to do like cross countries, 100 meters and stuff. So from like year 3, they had us doing cross country, and I remember I came first like twice in a row. And then like even with the football stuff, like the football culture there is completely different to how it is in the UK. I feel like footballers can be more themselves, unlike here. And like Germany, they've always been like a really good team. So always like getting the opportunity to watch them in the World Cup, and actually even being there when the World Cup was hosted, it was a whole different kind of experience that made me love football even more. So yeah.
Yeah, no. For you growing up in Germany, like, was there a stigma? Because I'm not gonna lie, I feel it sometimes when I'm here. Being a black person, was there like a stigma? Obviously sport makes it easier because you're integrated to the public and you're integrated to your peers, but growing up, did you always feel like kind of left out in that way?
Oh, absolutely. There was a time in primary school, quite often, like if I'm eating chocolate or something, kids would ask me if I'm eating it to stay black, or I'd have some kids, their parents, because I was around a lot of Turkish kids as well.
Yeah.
I had some kids that we were friends, but when their parents saw that I was black, they would tell them not to play with me because I'm black. So it was something that was very common. And at the time I grew up in Germany, it was just like 15 years post the Berlin Wall. So that was when Germany just started to, start to like mix and match with people from all around. But even then, it was quite difficult. Sometimes you travel the whole day, don't see a single black person.
Yeah.
Like even my primary school picture, like I was literally the only black girl. I'm bang on right in the middle. You cannot miss me. So it just became a sort of thing that you get used to. But at the time when I was younger, I never really paid attention to it because I was a bit naive. But now that I've grown older, I tend to realize that, wait, there was actually a lot of racism that I had been experiencing from a young age, but I just didn't know. And this is not the sort of stuff that you're usually prepared for as a young girl. So it's part of the experience, I guess. It's not something that anyone should experience, and I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. But I guess that's what happens when you live in a country like that isn't as diverse as a place like London. Because I remember when I moved over here and I saw so many black people. I was like, oh my God, like there's black people everywhere. I was so happy. Like I was like, where have I been this whole time? And I remember I told my parents, I was like, we need to move to London. And we actually did like a year later because it just felt like I belonged here. Even like the first day I went in my primary school class, I saw like 10 black kids. I was so excited because I never had any black kids in my class. So it was a whole different experience over there, but I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Yeah. What area did you grow up in Germany, and what area did you come to in London?
So I grew up in Berlin in an area called Neukölln. It's like southeast. And then funny enough, I live in southeast London now as well, but that's like closer to Kent.
Okay, makes sense. And then what about you, Patrice?
Oh, where did I live?
Yeah, where did you grow up in?
I've lived in so many places. So I was born in London and I lived southeast as well. And then I moved to Nigeria and I lived in Lagos. Then when I moved back to London, I lived in Enfield, and now I live in Barking.
Okay, so
Yeah.
your experiences are probably so much different to Bree's then, in terms of, how you were integrated with your peers and integrated into sport. I reckon, I don't know, you can tell your own story, but from hearing what you just said, was sport for Bree a way to kind of, forget about maybe, the color of your skin, whereas Patrice, for you, sport was just like something that, you loved, and you just did it because, you loved it and you didn't think too much about it. But on the other hand, you went to school with all these people that were judging you on the color of your skin. Agree. So yeah, I'm gonna ask Patrice first. Sorry, that was a two.
Sport for me was almost just like a bonding experience with family and friends, and also in school. I remember at school, Monday morning, I would always come into class and just speak with all the boys about football that happened on the weekend. So it was just a way for me to make friends with guys in school, because I was a very awkward girl. So that was the only time I would actually talk to boys. And then also to bond with my family, with my dad, with my brothers. That's what it was for us.
Yeah, Bree.
It's funny that Beatrice said that football was the way that she used to talk to boys as well, because that was exactly my experience as well. Like from Germany to here, like even when I went to Nigeria for like boarding school, like I bonded with the guys a lot more because of football. That even every Sunday morning, like when they're going to play football, they call me to come and join as well. So for me, it's like football's always been that escapism, just from anything, whether playing it or watching it. It's just a way of an escape from everything for me. So I think that's why it's always been such a significant part of my life, that I can't imagine myself not watching football, being involved in football in any shape or form at all.
Yeah, so you just mentioned a lot of stereotypes and stigmas there, growing up in Germany. When did you realize, both as females, that stigma and stereotype, being a woman, or at the time a young girl who was interested in football, and you realized that stigma of it's a man's game and just for boys and everything like that? When did you realize that the world perceived it in that way?
Probably at school mostly. At home, it was normal for me. Me and my brothers would even go outside and play football together, and my dad would teach us how to play and stuff. So it was very normal at home. But at school, you got the comments from girls saying, "Oh, she's only doing it just because she wants attention from guys. She doesn't really know what she's talking about. She just wants to be next to the guys, blah blah blah." So I knew it was like, okay, because I was the only one who kind of spoke about football, so I was kind of singled out in that sense that, I might not have had genuine reasons for doing it, but I just ignored them. I just did what I did. And also, like, I guess, even watching football, like, you didn't really, even when you looked at the crowds, you didn't really see that many women, or we didn't really watch women play growing up. It's only now that the women's game has become more popular. So I always had an inkling that there was a stereotype there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what was your first ever game? If you did go to games growing up, I don't know. Did you ever go to a game growing up?
Because I lived in South East growing up, I remember going to Millwall Stadium. I don't remember what the game was or whatever, but I remember my dad taking us to a Millwall game just because it was around the corner. Yeah, I can't remember that, thank God.
That's a brave.
Yeah.
Millwall, nah.
Yeah.
I don't know, back then as well, he was trying to play his games, like.
It probably wasn't. It was probably a small game. I have no idea, but yeah, that was the first game I went to.
Yeah, it's not like a safe haven for people who look like us. But
Yeah.
it's changing now, so hopefully it gets better, right? Do you reckon now that football is come to a halt where the fans can go to games and whatnot, do you think that whole stigma of being a real fan of football, going to games every week, away and home, that's kind of getting washed out because now everyone's watching at home, so it doesn't really differentiate between who's a real fan and who's not a real fan.
Go on, Brie.
No, you first.
I'm a United fan, so I've always been called like a fake fan, a plastic fan, or whatnot, because I come from London, and there's a thing about anyone who comes from outside of Manchester that is a United fan is a fake fan. So I've always gotten that. I'm used to that. That is fine, whatever. I just ignore that. So I don't think it makes a difference, because I feel like you can have been outside of the country, for example, like when I was in Nigeria, and still support the club. There's a strong fan base in Nigeria, for example. That doesn't make them less fans than the people that are living in Manchester. So I don't think where you watch it from matters. It's just about your love for the club.
Yeah, what about you, Brie?
No, I totally agree with every point that Beatrice has made, because even when I was in Germany and I supported Bayern Munich, like I lived in Berlin, so of course I wasn't going to be able to go to all of the games at the time when I was younger. So I don't think that going to the home games or away games makes you much more of a fan than those that sit at home to watch it. It's probably like the same thing, and it's actually the convenience of being at home, being able to support your team from the comfort of your home as well. And with COVID and everything, now we're all watching it from TV, so we're all still in the same boat.
For more content like this, like, share and subscribe.